Me and you and a dog named Boo, traveling and living off the land. What's up, guys? Kevin here from Relax and Learn Guitar, where you're never too old to learn. Taking on a hit from the 70s by a band called Lobo, a little Me and You and a Dog Named Boo. Fun to say, fun to play. I'm going to show you this really cool, it's kind of the like main lick slash rhythm on this D. Very cool part of the song, so let's get started. Now you'll need to put a capo on the 4th fret of your guitar to play along with the record, which I highly recommend. And for these chords, we're going to start with a D chord. And then we're going to play a couple of different D chord shapes. The first one's a D sus2, which is a fancy way of saying lift up your middle finger from that D chord shape. That's a D sus2. And a D sus4, which is playing that regular D chord shape and putting your pinky down onto the 1st string 3rd fret for a D sus4 chord. Then we have a G, an A, which you'll see me play like this, especially in songs where we strum a lot, like this one. I used to use my index finger to bar strings 4, 3, and 2 on that 2nd fret. And I just mute that high E string. And a C chord. If you'd like a much more detailed lesson on these chords, and including the 8 chords you should really learn while beginning to play the guitar, you can check out the lesson in the description below. The other day my wife Vicky was humming this song. I completely had forgotten about this one and thought, why have we not done a song lesson on Relax on Guitar on this song? So here we go. Okay, so for this main rhythm, intro, riff slash theme through the whole song, especially playing this in the verses, you can, if you're a brand new or a true beginner, you can play the D shape, that D chord, and we're just going to do a down up strum, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just 8th notes. And you can play that for the intro, 2 strum patterns. And it gets into the verse. And you can actually use that strum pattern for this whole song if you're new. Now if you want to learn the way he's actually playing it on the record, it's all built around this D shape. And we're going to, if you watch my hand, it doesn't stop going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But it's really important where we change these chords, and we're going to be playing those D chord shapes, that D, the D sus2, and the D sus4. So it starts, we'll just break this down. I struggle with this rhythm a little bit, especially toward the end, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So start with that D chord shape, and that gets the down, up, down. Then add that pinky to that 3rd fret 1st string, and that gets an up, down. Then lift up that pinky to make that regular D shape, and that gets an up. Then lift up that middle finger to make that D sus2 shape, and that gets the down. And then the last strum in the pattern is an up strum, because what goes down must come up. It's still that D sus2 shape, but we're going to make sure we don't actually play the high E when we strum back up. We're going to strum from that 2nd string up. So slowly it's and one pointer for that last up strum to kind of miss and make sure you don't hit that high E string. Not end of the world if you do. But one thing I do is I'll turn my pick in just a little bit, like toward the sound hole, my wrist to point in, my pick pointing more down, and that helps me miss that last and that was a real trick there. So if you're playing it, it sounds like this on the record. If you don't hit that, you don't mute that 1st string or skip that 1st string, it doesn't sound horrible. But it's really, from what I can tell, he's skipping that high E string. So real slow here, and I'll just exaggerate it, is that D shape, down, up, down. Put the pinky down for the D sus4, up, down. Lift up that pinky for that up strum on the D. Lift up that middle finger for the down strum on the D sus2. And then last up strum, D sus2, skip that high E string. If you like this lesson so far, be sure and hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. So the intro to the song is that D rhythm, 2 of those patterns. Then you start hanging right there on that D. I remember to this day the G, red, A, D. Now, like I said, if you're newer at this, you can just do those down up strums on that D. If you want to put the rhythm in there, you can. It sound like this. I remember to this day the bright red Georgia clay. So the bright is G, and these are all just, it's a down up strum pattern, those 8th notes. That G and A split it up, so they have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the D gets 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we repeat that D rhythm, and how it stuck to the tires after the summer rain, which is an A chord for 2 strum patterns. Back to that D. Willpower made that old car go. A woman's G told me A, that's D. Same as the beginning, so that G and A split the pattern, and then D. How I wish we were back on the road again. So for that last line of the verse, we have the D for 1 pattern, then a C, and a G, splitting it again. Back on the road again. Then he does all down strums. The G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A is 6. Then again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's just G to A. Then we get to the chorus that everyone loves. And this is all the 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Starts on the G. Me and you and a dog named Boo, traveling and living off the land. Me and you and a dog named Boo, how I love being a free man. So that starts on the G, the chord progression is G, A, D. And the G and the A get the pattern split up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and D, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Me and you and a dog named Boo, G and A and a D named Boo, G and an A and off the D. G and A and a D named Boo, how I see being a G, D. So the last line of that chorus, it goes from C, G, D. So just kind of remember it this way. For that chord progression, the G's and the A split the strum pattern, the D gets a whole one, and then that C and the G at the end split it, and then the D gets the whole one. The only other change that he makes really is the verses and chorus are played that way. There's 3 verses, I believe. The only other change in this song is in between the verse and the chorus, instead of going like this twice, after that first time, going into the first chorus, he just does that once. Me and you and a dog named Boo. To learn another great hit from the 70s, check out this lesson where I show you the Steelers wheel hit, Stuck in the Middle with You. In the meantime, remember you're never too old to learn, and I'll see you guys for the next lesson.